Hey, this is Gary from 3Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about 5 things that every small business should be blogging about. So if you're not blogging for your business and creating regular content for your business, then you're kind of missing the boat, because it's a great way to do inbound marketing and to bring qualified customers to you instead of you doing outbound cold sales all the time, which I personally hate. So I much prefer people come to me than me having to go interrupt people and spend lots of time and money trying to go find customers for my business. So if you're interested in blogging, it's a great way to get new customers and new leads for your business. It's a long-term strategy. It's not like advertising, so it can take several months to start to get traction for it. But the great thing is, once it does, you'll have a regular source of leads coming in for your business, month over month, year over year. So before we get started though, if you're interested in blogging for your business, let's go over some tips first. First thing first is, if you're going to blog, don't make flimsy content. Typically, there's no hard rule with this, but really you want to do at least 500 words, ideally around 600 to 1200 words, because the search engines tend not to rank flimsy content. You rarely ever see an article ranking high in the search engines that's like this big on there. You need to have it fleshed out. You need to have a thorough answer, a thorough content for whatever you're writing about. Okay, so at least 500 words. Use images and video. It's great. It creates better visuals for people reading, and it adds a little bit more depth to your content. So definitely add images, and if you can do some video, or find a good YouTube video to complement it, something like that, put that in your article as well. Facts, figures, stats, quotes, things like that. People love that. It adds more credibility to what you're talking about, makes you look a little more authoritative, and makes your content more interesting. So whenever you can, add some quotes, statistics, facts, figures, things like that. Format it with headers. So kind of think of a blog post kind of like a book, where the title of your blog post is the title of the book, and each chapter is a paragraph in your blog article. It's easier to read, it breaks the content up, and allows you to focus your paragraphs into specific subjects, okay? And the last 2 things is, number 1, quality. Create high quality content. Don't make crap. Don't pay somebody overseas whose English isn't their first language and pay them $5 to create content. It's a waste of their time, waste of your time, and a waste of your customers' time. So don't do it. Create quality content. And if you don't like to write, writing is very difficult to do, even though most people think blogging's easy until they actually do it. That's why 99% of bloggers quit after the first year, because it's difficult to create content on a regular basis. So if you're not a writer and you basically just can't do it, then go hire somebody. There's places you can go, like Upwork.com. You can hire freelancers, or you can even go to your local university and hire college kids from the English department or journalism and things like that, and you can pay them. You can pay them money and they'll create content for you. You just give them the direction and the expertise, okay? And also be consistent. So whether that's going to be a daily blog, weekly blog, bi-monthly, monthly, you're probably not going to get much traction with a monthly. But whatever you do, be consistent with whatever schedule you go on, because consistency is a key to success with content marketing. If you do an article and then don't do anything for 2 months, you're just wasting your time. Okay, you're better off focusing on advertising or something quicker. Okay, so now that we have our tips, let's go through some of the things we should be writing about. Number 1 is Q&A articles. And Q&A articles, if you're a local small business, should be the backbone of your content. Questions and answers. If you think about Google, you ever go to google.com, you search for something, what are you searching for? You're searching for an answer. Most of the times, it's going to be some kind of question. You're trying to find information out, and that's exactly where you should be starting with your content strategy. So make a list of the top 20 questions that potential customers ask you, and create a blog article out of each one of them. Okay, because if some of these people are asking you in person, there's probably hundreds of people online, or even thousands of people that are looking for answers to that same question on Google. Okay, so that's a great place to start. It's great for SEO, and it attracts a very targeted audience. So if somebody, if you're a pool and spa company and somebody's trying to figure out, what size, above ground pool can I use for a small yard or something like that, and you write an article on that, you know that person is looking for an above ground pool, and you can apply that to any industry. So create a list, start pumping out some Q&A articles. Now, most businesses will just create an FAQ page and just put a whole bunch of questions and a 2-sentence answer on it. FAQ pages almost never rank in Google because they're all over the map with direction on there. Google doesn't know what to do with them. So by you breaking that out and spending the time to create a blog post for each one, you have a much, much higher chance of ranking high whenever somebody types that into Google, okay? Number 2, case studies, customer success stories. These are great for conversions. Now just picture like if somebody is coming and they're thinking about using your product or your service and they see a case study that is almost a mirror of their situation, what their challenges is, whatever their challenges are, and how your company helped them overcome their challenges. Okay, so they're great for conversions, and they're great for using with advertising and email marketing. So if you do a targeted ad campaign, you're targeting a specific industry, create a case study on how you solve the problem for that industry. And it's a great way to use targeted ads, especially Facebook ads and outbound email marketing. Okay, so case studies are fantastic, great for conversions. Local topics, great if you're a location-based business, they're fantastic. Now, and I also put in there, they're hard for the big brands to compete with. So if you're a local business, you should be talking local. It does a couple things when you do that. Number one, when you create local content, the search engines understand that you're all about a specific business. So if you're a real estate agent, here in Charlotte, and you're always talking about Charlotte, it makes it very clear to search engines that this real estate agent is all about Charlotte. So whenever somebody in Charlotte or does a Charlotte type of query about real estate, you're going to start getting a preference over other real estate agents who just blog about random real estate stuff. Okay? And why I put this, why it's hard for big brands to compete with is, say you're a real estate agent in Charlotte and you're creating general real estate content like, 5 ways to sell your home faster, or 5 ways to increase the value of your home, or something, basic crap like that. The problem is the heavy hitters like Trillo and Zillow and Redfin, they have thousands of articles on that. There's no way you'll ever compete with them on that. It's a total waste of your time to try to. But where they can't compete with you is on local content. So if you write an article like the 5 best places in South Charlotte for young families, or 5 best places in Huntersville to buy a home for under $200,000 or something like that. The big brands don't have the knowledge and resources to get that in depth about a location, which is why they tend to only write about general industry stuff. But you being there, being local, can outperform them because they can't even create that kind of content. They don't have the knowledge to do it, but you do, and that's a great way for you to outrank them and outmarket them on a local level with your content marketing, okay? Next one is industry topics. So industry topics are great. They educate potential customers about your business, about your industry, and a lot of times if somebody's not sure about to buy, if you can educate them more about the value your product or service can bring, then you have a higher chance of converting them. So industry topics are really good, and they make you a thought leader. If you're always the one writing about this stuff and they're always seeing you when they search for it, or they see you come to your blog and things like that, they start to look at you as an expert. You're a thought leader. You're always on the cutting edge talking about your industry, things like that. So industry topics are great to go over as well. And lastly, behind the scenes type of content, talking about your people, things like that. People love, it personalizes your business, and people love to see the faces behind the business. They love to see how the sausage is made, so to speak. If you ever see, shows like How It's Made, Undercover Boss, people love that stuff because they get to see the inner workings. They get to see behind the scenes, what it's like behind the business. So give your customers and potential customers a glimpse of what it's like to run the business from behind the scenes. Show them the people, highlight people on your blog, do interviews with some of your employees, talk in depth about how you guys are doing stuff on the back to make your customers' lives easier and better, and things like that. And these are great for social media, and they're great for email marketing and customer engagement, keeping your current customers engaged with your business. Okay, so if you're going to start blogging, these are 5 great places to start. I personally like to start with Q&A articles. We call that evergreen content because it never really becomes irrelevant. And if you do enough of it, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start getting a lot of search engine traffic for that. And then these ones are great too for conversions, social media, things like that. So, best practice is rotate, do all of these, and you'll have a fully comprehensive content marketing strategy that's good for SEO, good for social media, email marketing, and conversions on your website. Okay? So if you have any questions or you need help with this, you can go to 3bugmedia.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel below to learn more about online marketing. Thank you very much and have a good day.